We spent over $1,600.
Drove 200 miles and spent 4 nights at this Airbnb. We're Airbnb superhosts, and so we travel to a ton of Airbnbs so that we can learn from other Airbnb hosts and so that you can learn from them too. We want to give you a window into what other Airbnb hosts are doing so you can learn alongside us as we travel. Our goal as Airbnb hosts is to help level up the entire hosting community and to make sure that Airbnbs go from an afterthought to being the forefront. Let's check out this title. It's called A Friend's Place. What do you think about their listing title?
It's a little confusing because I'm not sure what friend they have that has this place.
Maybe that's us. Maybe
Yeah.
we're the friends.
I mean, also it seems like it's not a great use of a title. Like I would add SEO keywords like, beachfront, beautiful view of the ocean, pet friendly, dog friendly.
Those are the things that attracted us to this listing, so that makes sense to add those to the listing title.
Yeah, it would make it easier to find for guests who are looking for this type of place in that area.
All right, now besides the title, the next thing I always look at are the hero shots, those first 5 highlighted photos. I love that first one. I think the balcony showing off the view of the beach is fabulous. That's definitely what caught my attention. We really wanted a beach view for this vacation.
I mean, I love the first shot, as you said, as well. However, the second shot is the same shot as the first shot. It's just a little darker and there's a bit of a flare. So it's not really that good of a shot.
I appreciate what they're trying to do with the top corner one and the bottom corner of those 4, just with the view of the ocean from the bedroom. At least I'm assuming it's a bedroom because it looks like the corner of a bed. But I want to see more of the room. And I don't think that bottom shot of just the bed tells me anything. It doesn't tell me the size of the bed. It doesn't tell me which room it is. I want to see a little bit more of the space.
Right here, all I'm seeing are the same view over and over, and then what looks like a bedroom in multiple photos. I don't see the outside. I don't see a kitchen. I don't see anything else. So I'd love to see more, which is just so easy at a glance where you have 5 hero shots to really showcase the property.
Let's see if there are other shots in their photos that we would choose. Okay, so I'd like to keep that first one.
Yeah.
I don't know if it should be first, but I think it should be in the top 5. This one of the kitchen isn't bad. At least it shows that there is a full kitchen for cooking, which is helpful. Oh, I like this one down here of the dining room with the slider.
My biggest thing is, I can see through the curtains that there's a house next door. I would open the curtains and then reshoot it because it's a little misleading if guests don't pay attention. So for me, I would rather see that there is a house next door so I know that when I go to stay.
Oh, that's a good point. I was just thinking about the slider. I like seeing the view, but also seeing the room. That's important.
Yeah. So this exterior one is great.
I love this exterior photo. This one just screams like quintessential classic beach house front property. I think it's so cute. I would highlight that one for sure.
Yeah, that would be a top 5 for me as well.
And I mean, I really like this rainbow one. I think that's really pretty. I'm not sure, because especially since it's a vertical photo, that would work in the hero shots. Plus, that would mean you'd have 3 of your 5 as exteriors.
Yeah.
And I think that you should probably limit it to 2.
Yeah.
Just because I want to show off those other main spaces. Yeah.
I mean, another point I would say is that like these photos, there are better ones to feature, but overall, they look like they were shot from iPhone. They're not professionally shot interior photos, exterior photos. So like having a professional photographer come in and shoot this would be huge. It would really bump up the listing and allow for a lot more high quality wide angle shots and a lot more detail shots that are really unique to Airbnb.
I agree. Yeah. Okay, let's check out the description. I don't know how many people actually read the descriptions, but I always read descriptions when I book. I like to know everything about property before we get there.
Yeah, no, I do too. And I think this is a perfect place to really paint a visual picture of the space and very clearly explain the guest experience and expectations.
Okay, so let's jump in. The entire upper level in the master bedroom suite complete. The entire upper level in the master bedroom suite complete an oversized soaking tub for maid to. Is,
There's a typo
is
or
that
multiple
two?
typos.
Okay, so I'd say the first thing to do is proofread, just to make sure that this actually reads easily and that your guests know that you read it yourself and you know what's going on at your own property. Seeing this makes me a little worried that maybe they won't be responsive to us or know what we're talking about if we have any issues come up.
Yeah, starting your visual picture off with multiple typos is not a
Not
great
great.
not a great way to start. So always double check your work.
I like to use ChatGPT and say, hey, please edit this.
Yeah, so then kind of looking at this, like I think they tried hard, but they could do so much better. Like the whole thing is really about the master suite. There's nothing about the experience. Like this is a perfect place to again plug in SEO, talk about it being ocean view, near the beach, walking distance to the beach, dog friendly, large kitchen, beautiful bedrooms, whatever, that may be for the guest experience, but it's just it feels a little lacking.
There's a few good lines in there, like this part that says each level has breathtaking view and balconies opening to the ocean. That's great. I appreciate that. Also, the note about which bedrooms have which beds and the memory foam mattresses, helpful. I'd like to see that in a listing. So they did a good job of that part.
Looking at the space part, they did a good job starting it, but there's a lot more that could be added to that area. So maximizing the use of characters that Airbnb really allows you to explain the entire home to the guests, talk about amenities, talk about experiences, and add a lot of value for people who like to read through these descriptions to know exactly what they're getting before they book. So one thing I noticed under the guest access is there's a line that says, if you notice something that could improve on the guest experience, please let us know.
Well, that's nice. Like a host wants to get feedback.
Yeah, no, that's really great. However, that's not the right place to put it.
What do you mean?
Well, what I mean is in the about the space area, this is really where you're selling the experience and sounds like you're doubting the experience you've created. So what I would do is I would throw it in your messaging upon your checkout to really say, like, if there's anything, that's needed, please let us know. We'd like to improve upon it for the future, or throw it in, after the first night on a main message that says that where the guests could give you feedback and then you could help add whatever they need into the stay.
That's a really good point. Plus, this has nothing to do with guest access.
Yeah.
That's the part that it's under.
So what do you think about the where you'll sleep section?
I like that they utilize this. I think that's important. Knowing which bedrooms have which beds is helpful. I really want to see photos associated with each of these. I know in Airbnb, you can link the photos from your listing to the where you'll sleep part. So it's very clear you have one photo and shows the bedroom. That's an easy thing to do.
Absolutely. No, couldn't agree more. They did a great job listing the amenities very clearly.
Oh, will you check shampoo and conditioners on there?
Yep, it's here.
Okay, good. And body wash, great. I'll know that now when I pack it.
Yeah. They have a lot of reviews.
286, that is a huge number. And 4.7 is a fairly good rating.
Yeah. One thing I noticed is that they don't respond to a majority of the guest reviews. So that's something that could really show more engagement with the community. There's a couple that have been responded to, but most haven't. This is, in my opinion, a little bit of a missed opportunity.
Especially those that were 4-star reviews. I would say anything that's not a 5-star review absolutely has to be responded to.
Yeah.
Because for me, as a potential guest, I want to know what their reaction is to the complaint.
Yeah, and more about what happened. Like knowing both sides of the story is really important.
Yeah.
The other thing, kind of looking at these reviews, most recent negative reviews are, talking about not being cleaned really well and things like that. Obviously, everyone has a different standard and expectation, but that doesn't deter us from staying. But we'd be curious to see, like, is it really living up to what it's supposed to be? Are there issues with it?
All right. I always read the house rules before I go, just because if there's any weird things, any hidden fees, that's important. Plus, like, if they have a special request, I'm happy to do those things usually. I just want to know what they are.
So, I just read through the house rules. Under the additional rules part, there's something that is mentioned, but then if you go look at the checkout before you leave instructions, it's not mentioned. So it's a little confusing.
Yeah, it would be hard to know what to do. I wouldn't want to be fined or ranked down as a guest for not doing it, but it's not clear. Maybe they'll say it in their checkout messaging to us as a guest, but It does say that please wash used towels and start them in the dryer upon departure. So that's not just start them in the washer. It means you have to finish the washing cycle and put them in the dryer before you leave. And what time is checkout?
11 a.m.
So that means you'd have to be like up, packing, ready to go by like 9:30.
Well, no,
very different timelines.
Well, because you need a pack, and then you need to do
Put
the
the
laundry
sheets in the washer and run the whole cycle, which could be at least like an hour and a half potentially with some washers,
depending on if it's a high quality washer or low quality washer.
So in fairness, like I like that it's in there, because if that is a requirement, I'll do it. I don't love having to do that and spend hours waiting around for a washer, because that doesn't feel like my job. It feels like the cleaning team's job.
Yeah.
But at least they mention it beforehand. If I didn't know this until the morning of checkout, that would be really hard.
Although they don't mention the checkout instructions that are visually posted. They mention it in the additional rules fine print,
which might mean we'd have to wait until that checkout message anyway to find out if that's actually something we need to do. Yeah,
so like they say gather used towels, they should have a note under there that says, please wash and dry the towels before you leave. It should not be in the additional rules fine print. This is very misleading and could really upset guests. So
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm glad we noticed it. Yeah. But yeah, again, as hosts, like that's something that is the host's responsibility, not the guest's responsibility. Guests should never have to do laundry in order to check out of a property, strip beds, anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think a few things like washing dishes that don't fit in the dishwasher makes sense.
And locking the doors. That should be it.
Turning off lights.
Yeah. But you're paying all these fees. You're paying cleaning fees. That's all part of that. Guests should not have to do that before they check out.
In fairness, this does have a low cleaning fee. It's only $100.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like maybe I would rather have a higher cleaning fee.
But they could have also lowered the cleaning fee and baked it into the nightly rate too.
That's true.
So,
okay.
This is a great example. Like, we're looking forward to staying there. We wanted a place that took 3 dogs.
Hard to find.
Yeah, that was hard to find, and that's on the coast.
Views
with
of the
views,
ocean.
And near the beach.
And there's a lot of things they do really well. They have some really great things in their listing, some nice shots of the property. They do list those additional rules, where you'll stay. Which I think they could just level it up.
Absolutely.
For all those things a little bit more.
This is a great example of why this place is like a 50 percentile place, and what we're talking about could really turn it into a 90th percentile place, which could completely change their revenue night and day, which we'll go into after our stay and look at a deal analysis and how much they're making and how much they potentially could make.
Yeah. Okay, that's what they said the code was. But that one looks totally sealed shut.
Might be the top one.
What do you do? Is it an up? Is it a down?
Got it.
Let's take a tour of this Airbnb in Oceanside, Oregon. It features 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and sleeps up to 6 guests. The top 3 amenities is that it has incredible views of the ocean, is pet friendly, and walking distance to the beach. Oh wow. Oh my gosh, look at this view. This is incredible. This is definitely one of the best views we've had at a place out at the Oregon coast. I like this big couch too. It's good to have enough seating for everyone, really comfortable. Nice open living area. Seating for everyone at the table, and nice big kitchen, which is good because we're going to cook Thanksgiving dinner here. This space is awesome. Look, it's huge. Got these vaulted ceilings. This view, like, this is where it's at. This is why you come stay here at this house. It's incredibly huge windows. That ocean view is amazing. It looks out over the roofs of all these other houses. This is a really cool space. Okay, this is the queen bedroom. Pretty cute, but
I love that it has a view. I think that's the main feature of this whole house. Every single room has a patio and a view. It's a fairly large, spacious room. It fits that queen bed nicely along with some extra furniture. I like that there's a TV in here. I think it's nice to have a TV in every single bedroom. So overall, this feels like a really nice space. Okay, so this is the twin bedroom. It's pretty cute. I like this. The nautical theme on the beds, that's fun. And it looks like, yeah, it shares a patio with the other bedroom here. Again, with the views of the ocean. So awesome. It's a cute small space, but it fits the two beds really well. Oh, there's this giant closet with a ton of games and extra blankets. So that's always nice to have around. All right, so we've been staying here for a few days, and overall, this place has been really comfortable.
Yeah. So a few takeaways we found, that were issues for us was the first thing when you got to the property, there are two lock boxes. Both are pretty corroded, and then it was really hard to get the one opened once we figured out which one was the right lockbox. To get the key out to do the front door, so having a digital keypad on the front door to easily access the property would be a huge help.
I noticed that in the downstairs bathroom, there's literally no surfaces to put on any of our toiletries. We've been balancing them on the toilet or holding them. So putting a few shelves in there, something just to consider guests coming in with things in bags rather than just having them in the shelving.
Cooking food here, some of the plates were not cleaned. They were still dirty from the last guest. And there was some trash around the house, and carpets have some holes and some stains in them. So the upkeep could be better. The cleaning could be better. There's no one really doing a QC of this place, it looks like, after each guest to really keep it up to where it should be.
But to be clear though, I wasn't grossed out. It wasn't not clean, but it probably could have been just a little, like Jacob was saying, a little bit more of a quality control when they came through, but nothing that would make me not want to book this place again.
Yeah.
What I really like about it is I like that there's plenty of seating for everyone. There's 4 of us staying here right now, but if there were 6 of us, which is the max in this place, I think we'd all feel very comfortable in this amount of space. And there's plenty of cookware in the kitchen. They have a lot of bowls, a lot of utensils. So we were never lacking in that area when we were trying to cook in the kitchen.
It's very limited pantry space though. So we had to keep our food in bins on the corner, but that would be helpful to have some additional shelving. So overall, we love this place. The master bedroom is incredible. Mm-hmm. The views are to die for. The living room, again, the views. Every story has views. Every story has a deck.
It's a really short walk to the beach.
Yeah.
We've been going down there almost every day. Really easy access. We haven't even had to get in our cars since we came.
Yeah. And bike riding from this place is wonderful. There's a lot of places to go for a ride, lots of hills to climb. The place is done really well. There's windows everywhere, so there's a ton of natural light. You feel like you're at the coast, even though you're still up the hill, but you get this beautiful view of the ocean, of Oceanside, the town, and it's a fantastic place to stay.
Feels like vacation.
So we want to take a look at what they're making currently and their ROI and what they could potentially be making. So we ran a deal analysis on this property. In 2020, they bought this property for $890,000. That's a fair amount of money. His estimates now $959,000. So obviously they've done well. It's gone up a bit in price. Mm-hmm. So let's run a deal analysis to look at the ROI. So there are multiple different sources to pull data, but Rabu's one. Looking at this, their average occupancy is 43%. ADR is 222. Revenue is $29.04 a month. So not great, I would say.
Although you have to take this with a grain of salt because we did look up our own properties on Rabu and they weren't totally accurate in the occupancy and the revenue. They're lower than what it actually was. So I can assume that this occupancy and revenue is also lower. So
obviously, this isn't perfect science, but it gives a little bit of an indication. So now we'll jump into BNBCalc and we'll take a look at the actual analysis. BNBCalc, believes that the occupancy rate is more like 55% for this property, and the ADR is $295. The revenue is decent. They're pulling in $59,000 a year projected revenue. However, the ROI is negative $22,000 a year. So what you have to figure in is that when you purchase the place, you have a down payment, 15, 20, 25%, depending on the kind of loan. Then you have your mortgage, you have your interest, you have your property tax, you have your insurance, and then you also have all your utilities you're paying for and any other additional things you're providing. So that all plays a big part in how much money you're actually making off the property.
So overall, it looks like, according to these numbers, they're losing money each year on this property.
Yeah.
Renting it.
Yeah.
But we also don't know their circumstances. We don't know if they are renting this just when they're not there, if this is a vacation home for them, if not a full-time Airbnb.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unknowns that go into this that we're not accounting for.
Exactly. So, I mean, this is just a great indication, though, why it's so important to level up the listing. We're not going to go into full detail on the full comp because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's their property. They could do what they want with it.
Yeah.
But if they were to level this up into the 90 percentile, maybe their occupancy rate changes into 75, 80%.
And even if they're not renting it full-time, for the time that they are renting it, they could be making more money, potentially.
And their ADR could definitely jump up. It could jump up to $350, $400. So at least, if not more. So if we plug that in, all of a sudden, now we're in an annual revenue of $116,000 and a $27,000 profit margin every year. So 13% cash on cash return. So all of a sudden, by just doing certain things to bump up the listing, you're making a lot more money instead of potentially losing money.
Yeah.
As far as places go, this is definitely one of the best places we've seen on the Working Coast. Yeah. So we highly recommend staying here and checking it out. And of course, we'll leave a link to this in the description below. So if you're looking to stay, you could take a look at this place, and we'll also have a link to it on our website as well, jakebalissa.com.